Well, yeah, that's when you use everybody up like that, and both clubs are in the same situation. You're going through everybody on the team, and just kind of looking for a break there somewhere. And Desi's ball or Ian's ball was it, and but it was. Great at bat by Gonzalez. I feel great about the ball club's effort and intensity. The ball club was up and down, and the Cardinals are a great ball club that's, they're fighting for everything right now, and, we competed very well with them, and just really proud of our ball players.
Considering the opponent and the manner in which you won and all the rest of it, is that the most satisfying win in the season?
Well, it had to be right up there, but we've had a lot of those, and sometimes your most satisfying games are just effort intensity games. Not as exciting as this game. There's guys are playing hard for you all the time, and you really appreciate it. You feel good, the sacrifices players are making out there, and so. There's a lot of ways to look at a good game, but that game had all the elements of comebacks from both clubs, and timely hitting and good base running, and good defense. It had a little bit of everything, but it had the extra inning component to it too. So that, as I said, is right up there with one of the most exciting ones.
I know how much you enjoy the chess match of the game. Is that the kind of game as it plays out that you really kind of seek yourself?
Well, like I said, I think we talked about this one time with Tony before. He's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. So he's the best. Tony's outstanding, and that game was, that was a players' game. Players, both clubs did it all. Big hits. I think. Great effort from pitchers, but really a big offensive game for both clubs. It was the players took over that game.
It seems like yesterday now, but what did you see about that as Zimmerman tonight?
Yeah. Well, I was real happy. As I said before the game, somebody asked what would I be happy with Jordan, and I just want to see him be healthy and progress. And he came out of it feeling good. Threw the ball well, threw some good breaking balls, and then he lost a little command of the breaking ball, and got some hitters and some counts. But I think it's a good one to build on.
Can you talk about the game-saving play by Bernadine to get a hit like that, and what it means for a player like him to keep it out?
Yeah, well, Bernie's he's a work in progress. He's really he's really coming on and really doing a lot of great things, but he's really found comfort out there in left field. He's done fine in right field, and he's played pretty good center field, but left field, he's just been a highlight film. He's really made a lot of great plays in left field. And, the hit there, Bernie's got power. We look for him to do that here a little more often. I think that's his first one in this ballpark. He's got 7 or 8 home runs, but most of them have been on the road.
You had to use another pitcher, would it have been Lannon?
Yeah, Lannon. I was going to go. We weren't going to pinch hit or anything for Slayton. The only way, if Slayton had gotten tender or just couldn't go anymore, whatever, then I guess we would have gone to Lannon. But Slayton was going to have to pretty much just finish it out for us, no matter how far we went.
It hurts, but it's a good hurt.
Nyjer, just talk about the finish to the season. You guys found it all night. So bad.
It's just one of those games where, we just had to just string them together. The bats came alive, and, it's just one of those things where we just had to come together as a unit, and we came together as a unit.
When you went into extra innings, what was the mindset?
That we have a chance to win.
What did you think of Christmas?
One of the best, he had good stuff, but we were able to get to him, and, we just strung our bats together. We've been working with X in the cage, and everybody's just buying into the program.
You guys know Jordan Zimmerman was back, and what was it like to see him?
Oh, it's beautiful seeing a kid come off an injury like that, hell of a pitcher, and, it's just he probably had a little bit of nerves coming into today's game, but you know, you can see that he's definitely a huge piece to this puzzle that we're putting together.
Roger, you were throwing out there. Tell me about what you felt like to see Roger.
Yeah, that was solid. You know, just at first, he finally got one at home. You know, and that was a beautiful thing. But you know, just giving that kid the opportunity that the Nats have given him this year. So, you know, it's unbelievable, and it's real nice to see him coming in his own.
Yeah, it's pretty disappointing, obviously, but I just want to say you just kind of got to leave it in your locker and just learn from it. And, you know, obviously, it's a great game. You got teammates like Bernie picked me up there. You know, so it's a good victory for us.
How much easier does it make it to kind of wash it off when it ends like it did? You guys win it.
I mean, I wouldn't say it makes it easier. I mean, obviously, as a big picture, I mean, obviously it turned out well for us, but it's still something it's tough to shake off regardless. But like I said, it's something that, you know, that's how I take pride in, is being able to just wash off a good one or a bad one, just kind of leave it in the locker, and you go home and might not sleep as well, but, you know, it's something you come back and I want the ball tomorrow, so it's kind of a big thing for me.
When you get out of the eighth inning the way you do, real quickly on the 3 pitches, is it kind of an emotional rush, and is it hard to sustain that when you go back out for another inning?
No, you know, that's something you just kind of try to build off of. I wouldn't say there was like a letdown or anything like that. You know, I felt my preparation going into the ninth was, you know, I wouldn't change a thing. And, you know, it really honestly comes down to that 0-2 pitch. And hanging that break ball right there just was unacceptable. It's kind of not executing the right pitch in that situation. Obviously, came back to bite me.
Felt pretty good. No exhaustion. We were ready to go 10 more if we had to. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm just ready to go every day. Just gotta get pitches down the middle.
You feel like
You know, all day they've been throwing me first pitch fastballs, and then with them and breaking pitches out early in the count, and I've been taking them. I figured they were going to do the same thing again. I just wanted to be able to get the barrel to it and hit something in the middle.
What was it like out there, you know, as the game dragged along? You guys ended up using like 22 players. What was it like just being in that game?
It was fun, you know. I mean, I don't really know what big league playoff baseball feels like. I'm sure the atmosphere is a little bit more hectic, but you know, that was a great played game by both sides, and you know, I think both teams wanted it equally, and you know, we're thankful that we were the ones who pulled ahead.
You mean it just felt like really tense the whole time?
I wouldn't say tense, but you know, it felt like a baseball game was supposed to be played. You know, everyone was playing hard. There was definitely a lot of emotion in it, and you know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what playoff baseball feels like, but you know, I gotta imagine that's pretty close. Oh, it was awesome. You know, like me and Bernie have come up together, and it's always awesome to see him do well, and we try to motivate each other, and you know, just happy to see him have success. Oh, it was awesome. That's another guy I kind of came up with. We actually were roommates in Double-A, and I know the kind of stuff he has. He did well today, but there's a lot better things that can come from him.